ECHO project. We will have 5 presentations, or 6 even, 2 by mine. Next to introduction, I will talk about the how to keep MOOCs sustainable. And there will be a presentation then from Angela for UNET. I just get a message that Davina will not be able to join us, but Adeline from Sorbonne will make her presentation instead. And then Kelt will present an overview of the ECHO architect, and Vicente from Tabara Consulting will finalize with the proposition how you can become partner or business partner of the ECHO project. I don't know if you are familiar with this tool. This is in a webinar mode, so there will be presenters. If you have any questions to be asked, you can use the chat box at the bottom of your screen, or on the right side, right corner, you have the possibility to raise your hands, and then I will give you voice for a question. So in the total we have 6 presentations. Each presentation will take about 10 minutes. There will be questions after each presentation, and there will be possibility to raise questions at the end of the webinar. For your information, the webinar will be recorded, and all the presentations and the recordings will be made available at the ECHO website and at the EADTU website later on. So let's start by giving you an introduction on MOOCs and the European dimension and the ECHO project. This webinar is presented by ECHO. ECHO stands for E-Learning Communication Open Data. It's financed by the European Commission under the CIP project. It runs for 3 years until February 2017. The total budget is 4.7 million. 50% is granted by the European Commission. 23 European partners, not only public universities, but also associations and companies. Here you see the different logos of this presentation, of this partnership. You see also there is Microsoft, who has joined as an associate partner, and that's become very important for the possibility to do the outreach. If we talk about the ECHO project itself, it's mainly focused on MOOCs. I will talk about MOOCs later on. The main aims of the project are to improve the quality, access and equality in education and training by those MOOCs. Also to develop an innovative pedagogical models. There was already a webinar on the pedagogical model of the ECHO project. Also those recordings and presentations are available. And another call is to increase awareness on the advantages of open education and in relation to MOOCs and open education. I will give an elaboration on that part as well. We have a website. On those websites you will see all the MOOCs that are available and offered online. They are presented by different hub partners, so there is not a central platform. Kjeld will talk about that later on. But the MOOCs are provided by different hub partners in different countries of the partnership. There's even one MOOC, step-by-step MOOC, who is available in different languages itself. So one MOOC in different languages. All the other MOOCs are depending on the hub partner in different languages of their origin. The ECHO project is on MOOCs, and one aspect of MOOCs is the massive scale. So even beyond this classroom, it can already be chaotic in that kind of classroom. MOOCs are indeed about the massive numbers. So if you look at the abbreviation of MOOCs, MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Courses. And together with many European projects, we made a definition that's a little bit different from the Wikipedia definition, where MOOCs are designed for a large number of participants, can be accessed by anyone anywhere as long as they have an internet connection, are open to everyone, that is without entry qualifications, offer a full course online for free. And that for free makes a lot of questions about the sustainability and the business model of MOOCs. And that's the main topic of this webinar today, and the services that are offered in this and around these MOOCs. One of the core of ECHO project was related to open education. So in this aspect, I want to introduce the definition of open. And open is not only for free or open license, but is an approach that seeks to remove all unnecessary barriers to learning. So you have the financial barriers, and like MOOCs are for free, they remove the financial barrier. But there are also barriers related to accessibility, or even to cultural or language barriers. And therefore also the ECHO project is focusing on a multilingual offering, and also to be seamless and social, to be included in the cultural aspect. So there are many barriers that can be used with MOOCs to open up the education. So open is much more than for free. It's much more than free and open licensing like in open software and OER. It's even more than the open door academic policy of no entry requirements of Open University. It's also the freedom of time, place and pace, open programming, open to people related to the social and cultural background. And ECHO is mainly focusing on the European context, as is funded by the European Commission. We have relation to Southern America and to other regions as well, in Francophonie, for example. But if you look at in Europe, this part of open education is very important, the social dimension, and that therefore the number of higher education institutions that are involved in MOOCs is much higher than, for example, in the US. This is a figure from a survey from another project who compares the US involvement of higher education institutions in MOOCs to the European countries. And on your left side, you see 3 years of successive survey in the US, done by the Babson Group. And the number of institutions that has a MOOC or is planning to have a MOOC is about 12% and steady 3 years. In Europe, we began with different surveys, one with the AOA, two with the EADTU projects, and one with IPTS. And they indicate that the number of higher education institutions is at least 40%. So much higher involvement of higher education institutions. And that's also related to the business model of MOOCs. So we come to that in the second part of my talk. So in this context, the number of higher education institutions that are related in the US is significantly lower than in Europe. There are 4 different studies that are involved. And some of the preliminary conclusions why this difference is there is related to the social dimension to open education, which is the main goal of also the ECHO project, to enhance the open education part. However, MOOCs are for free, and therefore the main question is, how can there be a sustainable business model? So that will be the second part of my presentation. If there are any questions related to the context of the ECHO project and this first presentation, you can ask questions in the chat on the below part of the screen, or raise your hand on the right corner and I give you voice. Okay, then I will continue with the second part. Is a general overview of how to make or to keep MOOC provision sustainable. And therefore, you can look at MOOCs at very different levels. And the main definition for MOOCs is they are for free. And of course, you can have other open or online courses that are not free, where participants have to pay for. But on this presentation, we focus on those MOOCs that are free for the participants. But free for participants doesn't mean there are any costs. There has to be payment for development and operational costs. For example, to produce and deliver a MOOC, it costs about $40,000 to $325,000 US dollars. That's one of the studies mainly based by the US platforms provision. In addition, every time you offer the MOOC, there is an additional $10,000 or $50,000 US dollars needed to operate the MOOC again. Like most MOOCs are offered for 6 or 7 weeks, and you do it again in half a year, then there is an additional cost to that as well. And even to make recordings of lectures as part of a certain XMOOC model, where the broadcasting of lectures is recorded and made available as part of the MOOC, it will cost up to $35,000 US dollars to only record the recording. So there are a lot of costs in the MOOC development, but also in the MOOC provision and the operational costs on this. And who is paying for that? And how becomes it sustainable if MOOCs are free for participants? As part of the survey EADTU did, one of the questions that is similar to the US was, are MOOCs a sustainable method in offering courses? And then you see that in Europe, the top 2 results of this one mostly agree or are neutral about that MOOCs are indeed a sustainable method of offering courses. Well, in the US, only a small part of the institutions say they are sustainable. But that's another difference. And we will come back later on, but already I said that in the introduction, there's a difference between looking at it from the more business point of view compared to the more social kind and social provision of MOOCs. And that might be the relation of this difference, might be. Another question was also how well are MOOCs related, how well are MOOCs already meeting your institutional objectives? And then you see also a difference between the US and Europe, where most European institutions already saying that they are meeting some of the objectives the institution is having with those MOOCs. But a business model of the MOOC is strongly dependent on how you use it and how it is organized. And for this part, it's very essential that you make a distinction between, for example, these 3 different modes of MOOC development. So there can be a national or even centralized scenario. One of the examples of this one is FUN, France Université Numérique, where a number of universities and the French government is paying to have a centralized provision of MOOC, including a MOOC portal and a MOOC platform. Then there is an industrial scenario where it's mainly facilitated by private companies. For example, Future Learn in the UK is a private company. Coursera is a private company, so they have more a business scenario and business development on this. And the third one, where ECHO is an example on, but also OpenUpEd, is a collaborative decentralized scenario, which is promoting diversity and is embracing the local and regional implementation. So for example, I mentioned already that the ECHO project has a centralized portal, but the platform is strongly related to the hub partners, so the regional partners, where the MOOC offering is done regionally. So there's a strongly decentralized part. Some aspects are centralized, like a portal, and we will come to that later on in this webinar. But the MOOC provision and development is largely decentralized. So depending on the different scenarios, there are also different kind of business models. In the ECHO project, we have certain scenarios and services that are at the central level, but most of them are decentralized. Where at the centralized scenario, there's a lot of activities done at the central level, at the national level. If you look at business models, then most of people think about finances, but it's very important about how to organize it. What's the added value you offering to the customers? So in that aspect, this Canvas model, you can look it up on Google, on internet, there are many aspects that you need to take into account when you are developing a business model. And the finances are only two parts, the cost and the revenues are only two of the 7 parts that are important in this. Most of the business models on MOOCs are related to the freemium business model and has a strong relation to other openness aspects. And perhaps you are aware of the open source software and free software, where there is indeed a business model to keep the software free and have additional services to be paid for. Another model is the open access journals, where there is the scientific output is for free for all the audience and citizens, but someone else is paying for that. I think someone is trying to use the screen, and then it all changes for everyone else, so please only do that when you are presenter itself. The basic aspect of freemium business models, like also this open textbook, is that the basic code is free for the end users, and has an open license that allows for modification of the original source, but there are additional services offered that are needed to be paid for, or by not the end users, by the producers, or services for those end users. And if you look at the MOOC level, then the complete course is for free. That includes, for example, a certificate for participation. But if you want to have a formal certificate, then most MOOC providers now offering the possibility to have a formal recognized ECTS certificate, and you have to pay for that. And that creates a revenue stream that might or might not be enough to compensate for the operational or even the development cost of MOOCs. Another possible services that are offered at the MOOC level are the individual coaching and tutoring. So there is already some academic feedback and some forum to collaborate between participants. But if you want at a personal level some tutoring, then that's a service you need to be paid for. Also, based on the MOOCs, there are tailored courses, for example, small private online courses that are offered as part of a company training. Or there are tailored resources that are offered for participants related to their interests, as done in data. That's available in the data. Or remedial courses. Or even training to qualify to access to the university, to get access. So it's that you have done a certain mathematics level that is now granted to give you access to the on-campus situation of a university. So those are possible services at the MOOC level itself. But most universities and higher education institutions are looking at it from an institutional level. So they are offering MOOCs by having a good marketing model. So instead of a marketing campaign, they're using MOOCs because it gives a lot of reputation and a lot of free publicity by having a MOOC. Or another aspect of institutional level is to attract better and more on-campus students. So it's a competition for those international students. Or they can attract new kind of students. So for example, lifelong learning, continuous education. Innovation is a very important driver for institutions. So their innovation budget is relocated to MOOCs. They are experimental with scalable services to be used in their online and their on-campus provision, and that can also be due to improve the quality of on-campus education. By scalability, you can even use the MOOC services to reduce the cost. You can use it as a research area, or even create massive environments for exploring research questions. Some kind of use a massive audience in MOOCs to do that. And if you look at the survey that's now available, the results, then indeed institutions in Europe find it very important to learn about online pedagogical approaches by using MOOCs. So almost 80% in the two successive surveys indicate online pedagogy is very important for the institutions as a driver. So they provide the innovation budget to MOOCs to learn about online pedagogical approaches. Well, in the US, that's not seen as that very important. If you look at drivers on institutional level, then you'll see also some difference between the US and Europe. There are similarities. For example, visibility is very important. So the marketing budget is reallocated to the MOOCs development, and it creates a lot of visibility for the institutions. You see that, for example, to generate income, not that important for the higher education institutions, as well as exploring cost reductions. So the pure financial reasons are not that important. It's about visibility. For the US, it's to drive student recruitments. Well, for example, also in the US, but in Europe, it's also the flexible learning opportunities. And the dark blue you will see is to reach new kind of students. So in Europe, it's also making use of MOOCs in continuous education and in lifelong learning. If you look at how institutions are willing to collaborate with others, you see a lot of services that are perhaps there where institutions want to collaborate with other higher education institutions. And that's in favor of the model like this, the ECHO project or even an OpenEd, is that people indeed want to collaborate on co-creating MOOCs with others. That's seen as very likely to happen, as well as development of MOOC materials, collaborating on those together and reusing elements of that, of even co-creating cross-national collaboration aspects, and the use of MOOC platforms. That's things where higher education wants to collaborate on. And that kind of service is also provided by the ECHO project. The ECHO project is providing a kind of portal related to the platforms that are used. It's using and providing development of MOOC materials, and that can be reused, and also how to co-create MOOCs together. Now that are important services that higher education institutions want to collaborate on, and that are provided by the ECHO partners in this project. If you ask the same question about outsourcing of those services, then European higher education institutions are less willing to do that. With the exception, for example, for the platforms and development of the platforms, and also a little bit about co-creation and cross-national services that are there. But in general, if you compare those two figures, then the willingness to collaborate is much, much higher than to outsource for higher education institutions. And that poses some problems for the business scenario. So where, for example, university already has some financial problems in providing the business-to-business level, so the services that a big MOOC platform provider like university, but also Coursera and FutureLearn, can have a sustainable business model on their level. So just to summarize again, you have it on the MOOC level, you have it on the institutional level, but there are services provided to those institutions and to the MOOCs providers by the big platforms like Coursera, edX, FutureLearn, and iVersity. And what they are offering the platform. They are offering an aggregator. They are offering a global marketing with increasing reputation. They are offering learning analytic tools, translation services, certification services that are beyond an institution, quality label, training in design and development that was seen as very important by institutions, and even how to use anonymized data for recruitment or other purposes because of massive participation. And those kind of services they are offering not for free. The MOOCs are for free, but the business-to-business services they are offering, they will get paid for that. If you'd like to learn more about this, the ECHO project, if you go to the website, you can see about ECHO, and then you will see the different deliverables that we produced. One of the deliverables is related to the business scenarios and development. And this is a scheme where you can see that on the business to consumers level, so at the MOOC level, there are different services offered to make it, to create a certain revenue stream at the MOOC level. You can also have services that are offered by the institutions and universities, like I talked about. Then you have the level on the business to business level, where there are different kinds of services available and provided by the big MOOC platforms. And very important for also the European context is the governmental level. So we call that the business to governmental aspects, where the society level is very important. Not only the reducing of costs, but also to increase access or to increase quality, increase the pace of innovation as part of it, or to develop skills development for teachers or other kind of audiences. So therefore you see in Europe that some governmental countries that have some influence and even payment from governments on this aspect related to the social dimension. In that deliverable from the ECHO project, you can also see different canvas models described on how to organize that, for example, at the business to governmental level. Again, thank you for this, for listening to this second presentation. What now happening is that we will talk about different services that are related to the ECHO decentralized model. So there are aspects that are centralized. Kjeld, for example, will talk about what's done at the centralized level. How is the architect of ECHO project? Devina will be replaced by her colleague, who will talk about the pedagogical services related to the co-creation of MOOCs. But I will give first the floor to Angela, who is talking about the intercultural values and social inclusion, and how that can be realized through the decentralized model of the ECHO project. So, Angela.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very good.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Darko. I'm going to, after what Darko have said and everything he has explained about how to monetize a MOOC, I'd like to offer a different point of view. I work in ECHO from UNED, which is the Spain National Open University. I am my role is mainly focused on marketing and also communication labors out of ECHO. I am also a communicator. I work with several transnational companies doing different tasks, but among them is what is called the cross-cultural training. Cross-cultural training consists of a series of sessions aimed to make easy for spats to adapt to the new country they've been assigned to, right? This has given me a point of view in which we see how the interculturality values are so important. And this is something which can be very well applied to our ECO project. Okay, so this is the portal. This is the list, the catalog of MOOCs you can find when you enter ECO website. As you can see, interculturality and social inclusion are two of the main pillars of ECO project as far as content is concerned. We have while varied in topics, we can see that education is a core subject among the courses we offer. Social inclusion is a core subject. Transmedia education, transmedia culture, digital culture, digital literacy. So we want to be sustainable, and we are going to explain how to make this a sustainable business, but we cannot forget our principles or values. And what I would like you to show is how to make both things help each other. It's a kind of joint venture. Interculturality. Well, Adeline, my colleague, is going to provide an in-depth view on it afterwards. The collective intelligence is also intelligent. It's also intelligent distributed countries and cultures. Of course, we have with 24 partners here, plus the associated partners. We work in 6 different languages. We come from 9 different countries, and somehow we've managed to carry out this project. What you can see here is 2 of the MOOC courses we offer. One is in Portuguese, as you can see, about special students with special needs, and this is digital literacy for people in risk of exclusion, as 2 examples of what I was trying to show you. Right, it's really important how we take this in mind. And then, well, what I want to rather than explain, I'd like to share a reflection with you. And from the lectures you were listening to today in this webinar, I'd like you to think about the following. So, interculturality, inclusiveness, those are altruistic values by definition. And how can we make this coherent with the project monetization? How can we, well, make a living out of this or set up a business? Well, there is a way. We're convinced it can be done, and moreover, these values can be a great help and set the course for project monetization. And this quality, this excellence we're looking for, it's one of the tools that we're going to use in order to turn our business model into reality, make it work, and make it sustainable through time and circumstances. Let me give you a couple of ideas about how. All right. One of the main things we have proved with our MOOC courses is that they are transversal. Not only the step-by-step MOOC right? Which is transversal, given in 6 different languages. It's just that a single MOOC course can be not only accepted and appreciated, but promoted in different countries, in different cultures, and from different points of view. And it's something that maybe it makes of it an amazingly useful tool. They are short courses, very specific, and containing values which are completely transcultural, right? This inclusiveness is making us break the barriers of different cultures, different countries, different nations, even different languages. And the decentralized model is maybe the best suit for the task, in the sense that we can take advantage of institutions and we can serve institutions and companies in different ways due to that transversality that I was trying to show. Right, this collective building of knowledge and the shared point of view, it's also a contribution. You know that Eco Project is based on multicultural roots. We have public institutions involved in the project. We have private companies working in a coordinated way. The only thing that we are not completely free is that we have set up the MOOC as a pedagogical approach to our courses. However, this MOOC pedagogical approach, Adeline is going to provide further details on the subject. It's based on collaborative knowledge, on collaborative work. It's the horizontal approach in which the students are co-creating, co-learning, and co-teaching at the same time. And this is also a fantastic way to break cultural barriers and to avoid cultural clashes that sometimes are a main issue when we approach a course completely done in a more homogeneous environment. So back to this. This is our contribution. What is maybe from some point of view could be a constriction, what we call the necessity of building MOOCs, social MOOCs based on social networks. We think that is the best way to break those barriers, to open up horizons. Then what we have, and it's also a big asset for us, is accessibility. It's not only about social inclusion, it's about breaking barriers again. All materials in ECHO follow the World Wide Web Consortium rules. You can find a link there, and we try to make all our MOOCs accessible. This is good only not just is good not only for to provide access to people with special needs, but it's also a brand of excellence. It's a proof of quality that we can export, that we can show, and it's also a representation of our values that we want to. We have already said them in our pedagogical approach, in our daily work, and this is what we want to reflect as far as business is concerned. It also, I think we have it has a very positive impact on credibility. Let me show you. Okay, this is a screenshot of the MOOC step-by-step. Is one of our courses. It is, in fact, one of the most important courses we offer because it's not it's provided in 6 different languages, and it's meant to teach students to become e-teachers, right? Here we show you how to build your own MOOC project. As you can see, well, you may have you have voice, then you have subtitles and captions, and of course you have a transcript which is available in 6 different languages for all those needing to read the script rather than to check the subtitles or listening to the videos. Okay, so all these quality marks, all these values that, well, we're very proud of and we want to export in our business perception towards the sustainability of Eco Project and MOOCs by reference, it's are going to be applied and can be applied to what we call the decentralized model. It's a mixed model, and for institution it's obvious, as Darko had already explained. They are very objective. Public institution can get through MOOCs. For companies shouldn't be so easy, right? Since, as also Darko said, MOOCs are for free for students, but they are not costless. In fact, it's quite a large amount of money is needed to produce them, and someone has to pay. So what do we do as far as private companies is concerned? Well, mainly one of the main points we have is try to show how our values are coherent with the corporate social responsibility values in private companies, right? And at the same time, there are lots of, the CSR right now in big companies is main, and in many cases they have a big budget for that. And well, MOOCs are maybe too general, but as MOOCs based on intercultural and social inclusiveness values are a quality plus and an asset that can be considered on top of others. Same time, it provides common ground for mixed for joint ventures, with public and private institutions. Right, most of them, as you know, most of the time, public institution and private companies may have different goals, different objectives, and therefore are too often considered incompatible. They are not, and these kind of MOOCs may provide a common ground and offer very wide possibilities for joint ventures. Sponsorship from private, maintenance from a public institution, IT from one side, hosting for the other, but they can find that both those values are common to both kind of institutions, and therefore it's a big first step for dialogue leading to a profitable venture for both of them. Those were, well, as you can see, those are a kind of reflections. You're gonna get more information from my colleagues afterwards, the services that can be provided, IT tools and technology, and it's well, future is open for us. That's why there's an exciting period ahead of us, and this is how we are going to step into the future and offer our project and share our project, our open project, with the rest of the world. Any question? Anything else? Something you didn't understand? Any more examples? Okay, since I see nothing, it's I'm done. I'm giving a word back to Darko. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Angela. And very good to stress these quality values of social inclusion, interculturality, diversity, etc. And I think that there is indeed a public-private venture possible in this one, as Europe is already embracing this kind of use of MOOCs. And therefore, it's what you already said, is important to have a decentralized model where you can incorporate in a network the localized and contextualized aspects of each region or each hub partner. One of the services that is offered is related to the quality control and development of the MOOCs itself, and guidance to the interpretation of the SMOOC, the pedagogical approach. We were planning to have a presentation by Davina Meix from the Sorbonne. She had a conflict with her agenda, so she could not be attending this moment. Perhaps her colleague was trying to attend. The presentation is available. I could quickly go through this presentation for you. So it's about what kind of services we are offering on, related to the pedagogical approach and on quality assurance. So that kind of service is related to persons, experts at the centralized level, related to the 8 hub partners we have in the ECHO project. So I will go quickly through the presentation Davina prepared. So one of the work packages that is developing and is doing this kind of services is related to the deployment and validation of what we call an SMOOC, so the social seamless kind of pedagogical approach of MOOCs. And what we did is with 9 hub partners on 5 different platforms in 6 different languages, we developed 17 so-called SMOOCs. They all last about 8 weeks. And essentially, it's an iterative development aspect. So we developed and improved each of those 17 MOOCs in 3 editions. As such, we are providing the analysis and the data to improve each of those MOOCs iteration and evaluating the assessment of the final results, not only to the participants, but also in the co-creation of those MOOCs. So, related to that, we are creating tools for e-quality control, so the electronic quality control and the quality processes related to those MOOCs. And therefore, it's also by collaboration, you provide also some sustainability by sharing and transferable templates. So you reduce the cost and you make it for the institutions by collaborating and by making those templates and quality control available. And of course, we are adjusting the model and the designing process according with an agile development methodology. There was already a webinar on the pedagogical model. Angela already talked about the main quality issues that are there: accessibility, diversity, interculturality, access. And the main aspects we are working on the centralized level is the collaboration and how you can facilitate the different aspects related to that model. So related to access, it's not only access without any qualification criteria, but also to provide different learning pathways for different levels of participants. Accessibility, Angela already talked about that. It's very important, and we comply with the international standards for that. And we already provide also subtitles, audio scripts, but also the web interface is related to all the criteria you need for those for creating accessibility to all people. We embrace diversity, so different approaches, different languages, different units, pedagogical aims in different SMOOC modes, different facilitations to also the participants, So new kind of formats with live events, hangouts, just to facilitate the interaction and collaboration between participants, but also the collaboration and facilitation between pedagogical teams that are developing and hosting the MOOCs. Here you see the way the different hub partners are collaborating on different issues related to the pedagogical design, the global design of the project, the quality control, translation services, etc. Go quickly to the slides on collaboration. So they are related to the features and the pedagogical model. So yes, MOOCs as a pedagogical guide, but then we also have the technical aspects where Kjeld is talking about after this presentation. And there are different aspects where we can have a facilitation on to the different hub partners. So it is not only on dissemination, but also how to create different learning pathways, learning guide, but also how to offer certification services, etc. So that are kind of centralized services done in this work package under development that are important for the business model after the project as well. The dissemination is very important, not only the centralized portal, but also the social networks that is provided at the central level, because it's more effective to have the marketing and dissemination at the centralized level next to the marketing of each hub partner. So it's again a mix of centralized and decentralized model on this one. Providing activities on how to create different learning pathways, and activities are there related to the 1 week dedicated process on how to be familiarize the platform and all the processes in the MOOCs. Different formats of content, so there is no one solution. Also, that is diversity embraced. Looking for evaluation, we have an evaluation format, even certification schemes that are there. We'll not go into detail. You can look it up in our ECHO website or to have more details about the services that are supported. We will not go in that detail. One important aspect in quality assurance is not only to have a checklist beforehand and a quality control before in the development phase, but also the peer-to-peer evaluation between the hubs that are there and a quality supervision, just to promote the quality control related to the different values and quality aspects that are important in the ECHO project itself. One centralized MOOC is a MOOC that we offer to help teachers and other persons to develop step by step their own MOOC. And that kind of MOOC is available in different languages, and it's also provided to teachers, e-teachers that are willing to develop their own MOOC. And for them, we also offer not only the MOOC, how to do it, but also in community space. And you can even have a platform space where you can publish your MOOC. So we are providing also services to help teachers and others to develop their own MOOCs. And that's a very important aspect in the last phase of the project to support that. And the results is that for now we have 22 different kinds of MOOCs. Already 11 e-teachers are producing their own MOOC. And if you are interested to become an e-teacher and producing with help of our services to produce your own MOOC, please contact us. And we already have more than 50,000 users. Now, this kind of overview is quickly done on what kind of services the ECHO is providing on quality assurance, the pedagogical support, not only to the hub partners, but increasingly to teachers that want to produce certain MOOCs as well. So next to the pedagogical support and the quality control, we also have a centralized portal where those MOOCs are made available. And if I have no other questions related to the pedagogical support services and quality control, I will give the floor to Kjeld Loosen, who is talking about the portal and the architecture of the ECHO project. Kjeld, could you take over and make your presentation, please?
Hello everybody, good morning. My name is Kjeld Loosen. I'm from Reimer IT Solutions and I'm responsible for creating most of the architecture that is used to centralize the ECO project. I promise not to be too technical, it's just an overview, and if you have more technical questions you can contact me afterwards, okay? I just want to give you a small overview of where we come from. As Darko already said, we had a lot of universities, I think it's about 8 or 9, and they all wanted to be involved in ECO, and they were using, if they are already using, they were using some MOOC platforms, and the range of MOOC platforms that they were using at this time there were 5 different platforms that they were using, and they wanted to keep using that, of course. So we at ECO had to create some kind of way to mend those platforms together and present them as one to the end users. So what we did we had some technical challenges, of course, within the ECO project. The first one, as you can see, is I'm not going into detail that, but because that's directly related to the requirements that we had for MOOCs. It means that the platforms had to be improved to meet the requirements of our own pedagogical model. But of course, talking about the centralized model, we had to do other stuff, and that's, for example, create the facility to create one user account, so user can use one account and access all the platforms that are connected to the ECO platform. And we also had to have one single point of access, one central course catalog, and Darko already showed you that this in the previous slides, and I will do it again later on. And one important aspect that was also described in the description of work of this project was learning analytics, and learning analytics is actually a way of creating statistics about course usage, about popularity, about resource usage within a MOOC, so you can measure quality. I'll go into these points now. One user account, it means that you have one profile, which means that you can log in on a centralized point, fill in the details about yourself, your name, your nickname, whatever you want to be available to ECO, which is not a lot, by the way. Essentially, you only need your email address. That's all we ask. But if you want, you can provide more information. You can give up your Twitter account and so on. You can give up your areas of interest. So we can provide you with suggestions of courses you might like. And this is the slide you saw before. We have, of course, one single point of access. We call it the ECO portal. It's available on ecolearning.eu. There you see the whole catalog of all courses that are presented within the ECO project. They are presented by all the different platforms, and they are presented here in one way. And you can directly go into a specific course if you click on it. You can see the details, of course, also. And the last thing we did was about learning analytics. I'm not going to talk about a lot now, but it's something that's also available from within the ECO portal. It gives information about statistics like resource consumptions. It gives graphs about student activities. It gives graphs about how many logs in were there on a specific time. this is all data that can be very interesting for a MOOC creator because you want to see how your own MOOC is doing. So how did we do all this and create a homogeneous solution? Well, we have to do several parts for that. First, we had to create what we call the identity provider. It's a single component, a standalone component, which makes sure that you can log in, you can register, and it guards your identity, and it guards your identity, of course, only in the eco context. So we want to have your email address, you can give your nickname, you can give up your preferred language, because as you know, eco is a multilingual project. So we support 6 languages also in the eco portal. And you can give up your areas of interest, so we can give you course suggestions if you want to. So mainly you are giving up this information, you are providing your identity, that's why it's called an identity provider. And this component is used by any platform, other platform component in this architecture. So it's been used by the portal itself and also by the platforms itself. And here you see that how this is working. We created these standalone components, and we have our platforms. You see EDX, OpenMOOC, ARLearn, iMOOC, and Locally Assist, and of course the eco portal. This clearly illustrates that the IDP, or the identity provider, is a standalone component, and the clients, as we call them, can connect to it and use the login services from this component. An eco portal, our main entrance, is just a client, just as any other MOOC platform. Second part in the architecture is, of course, it's very important, is what we call the eco backend. Mainly it does 2 things. It provides services for eco portal, which I will explain later, because eco portal is also a standalone component, and it's a JavaScript application, and it needs services to show the information on the screen, and eco backend delivers those services. But on the other hand, eco backend is the important part that to all the different platforms and retrieves course information, inquires the platforms about course progress regarding a specific user, retrieves specific teacher information, and the last one, it's called here, we call it a heartbeat. We want to monitor if every platform is alive, because it's internet, anything can happen, as you know. So we want to monitor that the platforms are online or not. So this is basically the services. Of course, it's a simplified version, but it's a very important aspect of eco. So we have IDP and we have backend, and the last one is the learning analytics component, which again is a separate component, and it works schematically like this. All the components, including again eco portal. Eco portal is just a client, just a single component, like all the other MOOC platforms. We are sending what we call statements, XAPI statements. I will come to that later on, which basically indicate I am user A, I clicked on this button on this and this time. And all this data is collected on what we call the XAPI master. There's a dashboard on top of it, which is also available from within eco portal. So you use eco portal and you can start the dashboard. The dashboard itself uses the IDP I talked about before for authorization. And this is how internally it works. We also duplicate the data to Google BigQuery, because Google BigQuery is very good at mastering of storing big data and making it able to others to query the data. We can give access to our partners to this BigQuery tool, and they can do their own investigations if they want to. So there's the 3 components. Just a little bit more, but that's a little bit technical, but I would just give a quick overview of this. Like I said, we have three components. We have the IDP, which is written in Node.js. Node.js is an technology which is basically JavaScript on a server, not on your browser. We have the Eco backend, which is also written in Node.js, and we have Eco Portal, which is a standalone JavaScript application, which is loaded when you go to ecolearning.eu. And the data we use to store every the database we use to store every information is MongoDB, which is a object-oriented database. Darko. Because we are an open project, we wanted to use open protocols, and this is mostly important for the partners that want to connect to our want to plug in their own platform into our platform. The IDP uses an OpenID Connect protocol, which is a very common protocol nowadays, which has been used by Google and Facebook. It's quite young; it's 2 years now, and I think the IDP component that we created was one of the first components that was using this protocol. But then again, that's already 2 years ago. For connecting to the different platforms, we use a small protocol that's called OAI-PMH, which is just a way of retrieving metadata about courses, so course information, the title, the teachers, the description, and so on. And we have we need some other services from each platform, of course, because like progress information, and we do that on a REST interface, which is also very common these days. And the last issue is about learning analytics. So for this we use a very common protocol, which is called XAPI, or formerly known as TinCan, which is basically also a simple protocol to submit statements about usage and activities in a course. Okay, what is important for us is that if you want to connect to ECO, you can, and but you have to do some work, and I will explain this in short. Of course, if you have more questions about it, we can give you more information. You can contact me afterwards. I'll give you my email address at the end. There are some steps you have to follow. If you have a new platform and you want to show your courses on ECO, you have several steps to follow. First one is the most important one, is integrate with our identity provider. So your users must be able to use our identity provider to log in and to register. On the other way, it's also the case that if a user registers on ECO platform, he must be able to go to your course and follow it. So you have to integrate this component, the connection with this component into your own platform. And that's what we call with sign-on. If you register on ECO, you have your own account. And if you click in an ECO portal on a specific course, and this course is hosted by your own platform, we will start this course by a specific URL, and we will add this part above it on it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to remove the arrow, but it means that we're supplying information about the user, which is an user ID, so you can retrieve the information and you know who the user is, and you can then start your own implementation, how your own platform is working. Those two are very important steps, of course, and then there are two more, and this is what we call the server-side API, because plugging in your platform also means that we have to retrieve information about your courses, right? So we have to have information about the courses you provide, who is the teacher, what is the description, what is the language, and so on. How many time does it take? All the information we need to display your course on our portal. Well, like I said, we do that using an open standard, which is called OAI-PMH, which is a standard of metadata harvesting. That's the MH letter for. And of course, we need some extra information from you So we need you to implement 3 other REST services for us, because I want to know, our backend wants to know if there is a specific user, which courses did he do, so we can show it in the dashboard on the Eco Portal. And to create a homogeneous way and a kind of homogeneous look and feel, we have created a style guide, which is about colors and how a user interface should look, which component should be there. This is a style guide you can follow, so every platform looks more or less the same, which is of course not the case, because every platform has their own specialities, which is normal. But of course, it would be nice that, for example, the colors are a bit alike. The last one is about learning analytics. If you want to have statistics about your course, you of course must submit XAPI statements to our XAPI master. There's also documentation about that. It's not compulsory, but if you don't do it, we don't have statistics. But it's not a showstopper. The other 4, you have to do it, otherwise we cannot plug you in, as we call it. Learn Analytics is advised, but it's not a showstopper. This is a very quick overview. As you can see by these marks, there's documentation on every step. And we are working at this time to create one eco compliance guide, which integrates all these single documents. But there is documentation available and examples on how to do this. This is, in short, the presentation about the architecture. If you have more questions, you can mail me directly or ask questions now.
Thank you, Kjeld. And a very nice overview also that ECO is open to other MOOC developers and that you can connect to the portal in a very easy and well-documented way. That's also the main point, is that we are offering different kinds of services, not only the pedagogical services of how to develop a more social kind, a seamless kind of MOOCs, the quality control, but also how to connect to a centralized portal that offers you a lot of issues that related to learning analytics, to the centralized dissemination activities, etc. So in this context, we want to connect to other MOOC providers who are willing to collaborate with us. And in the next and final presentation, Vicente, as a business manager, will talk about how to become a business partner of the ECO project. So Vicente, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Darko, for introducing me. As you can see, I'm not Angela Benavides, but I'm talking directly from. And so my name is Vicente Montiel, and I am in charge of all the working package 6 of the project that involves all the commercialization and the business management about the project. Our objectives in the working package 6, it's very clear. We need to make the product to be market ready. And for that reasons, we have been trying to work a lot to disseminate all the actions that our partners are doing or our colleagues are doing in the project. But as well, we are focusing our efforts in attracting, being so attractive, so other institutions involved in MOOCs and private companies as well are focusing in us, and we are open to get some kind of agreements with them. And so right at this moment, I think that we are doing our best, and we are reaching the objectives. I'm going to show you right at this moment exactly. This is the initial ECO. This is exactly the picture. I remember that Darko at the beginning showed more or less a similar picture, but it's important to remind you exactly who we were. Right at this moment, in a deal with the European Commission, we have all these universities that are involved since the beginning in the project. There, as you can see, there are 6 Spanish universities. There are 5 European universities and 2 Latin America universities. And as well, there are big number of private companies that are providing since the beginning a lot of resources to the project. We are talking about people with expertise in marketing, people with expertise in technological issues, as Kiel from Reimer has been telling you exactly the improvements of the project in the technical issues. And everyone from the private companies is trying to give some extra value to the project. If we take a look to the picture of who we were at the beginning, as you can see, obviously this is a European project with big power in Spain, and as well very well implemented in the Netherlands and Germany. Okay, so our vision is to be leaders in Europe, but as well to look at other markets that are open for us. Many of our MOOCs are in Spanish, what can be shown as an added value, as we are not competing with the North American market, and we are not competing with other initiatives like FutureLearn or something like this. We don't look at them as competitors. We look at them as opportunities for us. And we are focusing a lot of efforts as well in the Latin American market, as a lot of providers here are from Spain, or are talking in Spain, and so in Spanish. So, but that was the initial picture. We were we were the stronger project in Europe. We were the project with more partners involved in this kind of MOOC projects. But after we launched the project in November 2014, and after 1 year of experience, the results and our visibility in the market was really good. And we became attractive, and there was one really point that changed our point of view about our possibilities in the market. As you can see, here you have the picture of the president of Microsoft in Spain and the rector of the UNEDU University, that is the global coordinator of the project. Microsoft decided to join ECHO. From the technical point of view, that was really that improved a lot our resources, our back office, but as well we have been receiving a lot of support in commercials and marketing from Microsoft. So they decided to trust in us. They decided to give big support to our project, and that was amazing. From that point, a lot of institutions decided to try to reach some kind of agreement with us. And so I'm showing you exactly that now we are very proud to say that in ECHO it's not only the founder partners, but we have as well a lot of associate partners from a lot of parts of the world. We have now partners from Cyprus, from Morocco, from Portugal, from France, from Spain as well, and even Reunion Island and Martinica Island that are directly linked with University Sorbonne, and as well other universities from Latin America as Ecuador. And so things have changed totally. Now this project is not only a European project, but we have a worldwide vision that we can expand this project for all over the world. And now it has changed. Now we have a lot of founder partners that you know, but as well, the number of associate partners is reaching the same number that the founder partners. And I can announce you that during this week, we have reached 3 more agreements with other institutions that we will very soon give news the agreements. But we are growing and growing and growing, and each week there are new institutions that want to be with us. They are providing not only MOOCs, they are providing as well technology, they are providing the resources that they got, and we are open for everyone that can give something in this new world of the MOOCs. Now, as you can see, the number of institutions all over Europe has increased. Now we are stronger than we were at the beginning, and as well we are expanding ourselves from different sides of the world. We are talking now in Palestine, we are now in Africa, in Morocco, we are expanding in Latin America, and we are really proud to say that this is not now a project, now ECHO is a portal. We are not anymore considering ourselves our project that will finish in January. I can announce you that the project is going to last, and we are very proud to say that we are not a project anymore. We are a portal, we are a market-ready product, and we are expanding ourselves. So we want you to be part of us. As part of us, all our, I don't know if the video can be shown or not. If I click in the video, if there is a video, we have a protocol that we will follow for everyone that it's coming to ECHO. UNED has a very strong visual communication, and we are producing videos for a welcome, and we are getting a lot of dissemination. We will disseminate a lot of all our agreements. From 1st of October, we will launch in the portal a new section of associate partners, and each one will have an individual view in our portal, and we will welcome everybody with introduction video, and we will include the logos, and we will include all the actions from the new associate partners in every communication that we do. So I think that we cannot take a look at the video, but when this webinar is uploaded, I will give you some URL to if you want to see the videos. And what we can offer to the ones that want to join ECHO. Well, the first thing that I have to tell you is that as announced, we are not a project anymore. All our objectives that were to enroll at least 50,000 students are now gained. We have achieved this objective, and the project during the project lifetime had 5 different periods. We are now in the final one, that is the number 5, and with 4 months in front of us, we can announce that all our objectives have been reached. And so that is very important, because everyone that is getting to ECHO, it's finding a very strong and robust project or portal now at this moment. For contacting us, that is very important. I am the global coordinator about the agreements. I am the business manager, so here you have all my contact data, and you can contact me directly wherever the place in the world that you are. There is no problem. We are receiving a lot of demands from a lot of places all over the world, and you can contact me directly. But as we are in different languages, as we are getting to all over the world, there are partners that are in charge of being in touch directly with you if you come from the Spanish market, from English market, French market, German market, Italian market, or Portuguese market. So, for instance, if you come from the French market, the Sorbonne University, that is one of our strongest partners, will be talking to you directly in order to elevate the agreement to me. And finally, we will be very proud to say yes if your interest is matching with ECHO. So all the contacts are ready for you. We are open to receive demands of agreement, and each one will be treated in individual. And we expect to grow and to be one of the biggest projects in the world talking about MOOCs. And that's all from my side. If there is some comment, if there is something that you want to know, now is the moment.
Thank you, Vicente. I don't see any questions in the chat, or no one is raising his hand. So thank you again, Vicente. Very good presentation. And the main message is that the objectives of the ECHO project is already done. It's not a project anymore. We are going into business after the project ends in the end of January 2017. And you already can become partner. And even after the project itself, we will continue to be a successful initiative. I'd like to close this webinar. I thank you all the presentators for their contributions and all the participants for listening to us. The presentations itself and the recording of this webinar will be available later on today. Just follow the ECHO website or the EADTU website and you will provide with links to that. So again, thank you all.